Gentlemen, tell me if the sound is good. Hit F in the chat if the sound is good. Oh, man. The pre-roll's not even done, and there's like 300 of y'all in the house. What the fuck is that about? Are you bored? Is something wrong in your life? Have you got some internalized misogyny? Come to Uncle Papa Hammer. We'll get it figured out. Fuck them. Fuck all them bitches. I'm on fire tonight. Oh, man, I got something to show to you. But before I do that now, I'm going to run back up in this chat, and I'm going to listen to some of your shit. I'm gonna repeat some of your stuff that you just said to me, and we're gonna get along for a minute. And if you don't want to get along, I don't care. I'm gonna get along with you anyways, because you know that's how we do things over here on this side of the shit. So right straight up to the top. Oh man, it jumped. Had one of my fellas picked out, and it jumped. God damn, there's a lot of comments in here already. Look, y'all got to stop that. You're gonna give me a fat ego. It goes with my fat belly, and that ain't good. You know what happens when you make fat people jiggle, right? Nothing, because nobody wants to see it. Oh, feral android. No one watching the State of the Union. What the fuck is the State of the Union? What union? What state? So some fucking deranged old motherfucker hey, what are we doing tonight? Oh, we're talking about the Ukraine. Oh, the craniums. I like craniums. I've got one. No, Ukraine. You know, because the narrative is that Putin is taking over. Pooter. I like Pooter. Fuck you, you deranged old fuck. I quit. I want some Cheerios. Get that motherfucker off the stage. Luke Chase, get your popcorn and beer ready, folks. Tim D, chill ass beat. Yeah, I like them. I think that they're pretty good, man. You know, I had 2 or 3 of them made up. I've got a 7-minute intro and I've got a 20-minute intro. And I'm like, if I dared to play the 20-minute intro, motherfuckers would be like yawning and shit and be like, fuck this shit. I'm leaving. I'm not going to do it. And I said, okay. You know, so I don't play the 20-minute intro. PK Grows, let's go, fellas. What's good, Hammer? Everything. Everything is good. Do you know why? Because I deem it so. And if you want that in your life, all you have to do is deem it so. You don't have to run around out there and be down in the mouth, be all fucking po-faced, be shitty all the time. You don't have to be that, man. Don't convince yourself that you're missing out on something because somebody thinks that you're missing out on something. You know what I'm saying? Find other things to be interested in. It just is what it is. You know, when they acknowledge, and we'll just say for the sake of argument, that 80% of women go after 20% of men, which we know that the percentages are much, much higher and much, much lower for those respective statistics that I just mentioned. Much higher, much lower on both ends. But they still tell you, you're missing out on life. Oh, man, you'll never know what it's like. But, oh, you're a genetic dead end. Oh, man, don't you want the joy of... No. Thanks. I've had enough of that fucking joy. Thank you very much. Fuck you very much. No, thank you. I'll just, I'll go over here and develop a hobby or two. I'll collect some stuff. I'll invest in some equity and pass it on to my son down the road. Pass it on to my daughter down the road. I'm good. I'm good like that. I don't need any of the other shit, man. Thomas K. Phillips, love the music before your live stream begins. Hammer, love your channel always. Well, thanks, man. Thanks, Thomas. I appreciate that. We love seeing you folks pop in. You know, Way of the Kodiak on a job, but listening in. Hey, thanks for listening in, man. And work safe. JR, Femicunts, catch these paws. Catch these skippity paps. And I can't take credit for that one, man. The fella that put that up, he does voiceovers for animal videos. And Curtis is a mean motherfucker, no matter what animal. Come on over here, Curtis. And he sits there, come on over here, catch these skippity paps. He's funny as fucking shit, man. Sir Yeetus, this is going to be a certified hood classic. Mile High Ronin, Funky Tuesday. Something's in the air. Yeah, there's a few things in the air, but my cash ain't one of them. Hey, Island Hermit. What's up, boys? Nothing. Chilling. Steve Hines, stop. It's Hammer time. Oh, I appreciate that. Mock Racy, did I get that right? McRacy? Do you have a Discord? No, I don't mess with Discord because Discord's been fucking up, so I'm off of Discord. I'm not messing with the Discord until something gets figured out there or an alternative to Discord comes up. And even then, I probably won't do anything with Discord because they're actively censoring, because it's infiltrated like a motherfucker. And no matter how tight and clean you try to keep your circle in there, there's always some motherfucker that wants to get in there and undead chronic your ass. So no, thank you. I'm not interested in that. In fantasy, I die. Good morning, afternoon, everyone else. Wheeled Skeptic, yo. Going to meet my parents at a Mexican restaurant for dinner tonight at 5. Arriba. Get in there, man. Get your burrito. Clean your colon out. I hear that works. Joe Simpson, NWO versus the Ruskies. Fuck the mainstream media. I assume that's what it is. Oh, yeah. Matt Downer. MGTOW is going nowhere. Fool! Hey, I love it, man. In fantasy, I die. Any woman who may be watching, welcome. Looks around suspiciously. Damn right. Let me get down to the bottom here, man, and I'm going to read a couple of these, and then we're going to get into the deal for the day today. When normies discover MGTOW. Now, it's not just any old fucking normie now. These folks have kind of been making their rounds on YouTube and other social media platforms, and I am suspicious of them. But I'm suspicious of most people that agree with me. So unless you've been there, unless you've done that, unless you have skin in the game, I'm pretty much automatically suspicious of anybody that wants to side up next to me. Because nobody gives a fuck about a man. Most men don't give a fuck about men. So, yeah, I think my suspicion is justified. Just a spectator, check your email, Hammer. I just dropped something noteworthy and current. All right, man. I'll check it later on. Gunsight 1, Discord will ban you for what you do on other platforms. That's been going around. Chase Bank will cancel your motherfucking account if they get wind of social media activities. Has anybody any doubt that this is the Chinese social credit system being implemented in the States? You must fight it till your last breath. You must fight it to your last breath. Don't ever let something like this be institutionalized. Ever. They're trying. They are trying. Trust me. They're trying. Let's take a draw off of this nauseating Diet Coke. Yes, I know. It's poison, man. Don't drink that shit. Well, I'm sorry. Every once in a while, I got to have me a Diet Coke. Considering I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't fuck bitches, I stack cash. If that's the worst vice that I got, I'm doing okay. Victor von Frankenstein, when the norms have to finally face the truth, there's going to be some serious deflection and projection tactics as they spiral out of control. And you can see them try to catch their own tail and eat their own asses with the excuses. Well, how did this start? I don't understand. Yeah, nobody understands until you explain it to them. And then once you get it out of your mouth and it's done tripping all over your teeth, guess what? They don't want to understand it because it means they have to take accountability because they played. You play, you pay. You see? They just didn't know that they was going to be paying 30 years down the road. They just didn't know that. Gents, let's get to the feature presentation. There's a several minute pre-roll on this with these folks watching something that was put together by people in our community. After the pre-roll, I'll break in and we'll discuss the video as it goes down. It's 17 minutes in total length, roughly. And I don't know if we'll do the whole thing, but I'm in for the most of it.
Welcome back, tribe.
Well, we'd like to know what you think. Should Father's Day be renamed Special Persons Day? To vote in the poll.
Army recruiters have apparently been told not to hire as many men. News Corp is reporting defence recruiters have been warned they'll be penalised if they don't pick women to fill most jobs.
Well, because there's only 12% of women, and clearly that's an unhealthy environment.
That men cannot control themselves and deal with their own issues. It is not women's fault that men behave like morons and like pigs. You're okay. Just did it because he likes me.
If you dropped into this country from outer space and started reading the media, you would think that the men of this country are vastly, they're wife-beating, porn-consuming, wife...
I'm the mother of 2 boys, and I see the way society is changing to a position where being a man is somehow you have to apologise for.
Sydney Barber is being taken to the Human Rights Commission after refusing to give a haircut.
Yeah, Sam Rahim is being accused of discrimination by a woman because he refused to cut her daughter's hair.
Yeah, the reason why we rejected it is because it's a barber shop. I only specialise in cutting men's hair. She could have just walked to the next hairdresser. Like I said, it's 20 seconds down where I am from.
Yeah, and there are laws to protect female gyms and female-only services.
And the best way to prevent this crime and keep all women safe isn't by changing the behaviour of women, but by changing the behaviour of men. Maybe we should be telling our boys not to rape them.
If I did to her what she did to me, I wouldn't be sitting here, I'd be in jail.
He wants to know about male victims of domestic violence.
Every reference in here is all pointing to the male being the perpetrator.
Now, we know some women's groups will challenge what you're about to hear. A report which says 1 in 3 are victims of some kind of abuse. They simply just don't always report it.
Now, you could buy Dad a cake at Woolworths over the weekend, but the supermarket giant also released a special Person's Day cake.
G'day.
How are you?
I'm good. Do you remember me?
Yeah, I remember. I was wondering whether you remember.
I could not forget it. I've still got the picture on my phone.
What's happened?
When did we meet, Amy?
A few years ago, actually.
And what happened?
I went to get a picture with you after the show, and I kind of got dared to grope onto your downstairs region, and you were very shocked. So I've still got the picture on my phone.
I think you got removed by security.
I did get removed by security, and then you blocked me on Facebook.
And then you said, spew it.
Yeah, I was spewing.
To leave your kids with a male childcare worker. A 21-year-old man says he lost his job looking after kids at a hotel chain in Sydney. Now, it's that annoying habit of over-explaining basic concepts to women. It's called mansplaining. Explaining, so fellas.
The Me Too movement was meant originally, as we just heard, to empower women and give some women the confidence, I guess, to call out sexism. Has it been derailed a little?
Absolutely. It's been given women a licence to destroy men.
Well, now there are millions of parents and grandparents in this country who may be reluctant to show their children affection in public for fear they'll be labelled a dirty old man. It highlights a growing trend where all men are considered potential predators. Some of these innocent men have been questioned, even detained by police while going about their parental duties. As James Thomas reports,
on a flight to Sydney, passenger John McGurr says that Virgin Airlines treated him like a sexual predator.
A stewardess came up and she said, I'm going to have to ask you to move. I said, why? She goes, because you're not allowed to sit next to children, because you're a male.
Why are you doing
As a successful female journalist in Australia, did you like men being banned this morning from the airwaves?
is about looking at these issues in an honest way, even when it's uncomfortable.
The documentary has been slammed by women's groups as misogynist propaganda.
A controversial documentary on the men's rights movement has had screenings in Melbourne cancelled after a petition claimed the film was misogynistic propaganda.
Firstly, it plays into the narrative of the men's rights groups, nutters who say that there's this incredibly oppressive feminist force that is suppressing men's voice. And this actually proves them right.
Being with us.
I would like to say I'm for gender equality, I'm for women's rights and men's rights now, and I'm not a men's rights activist, and the film was not funded by MRAs. That is a lie that's being perpetuated by Australian media. TheRedPillMovie.com.
How'd you like that? Right up your alley, isn't it, my friends? I doubt that there's a person in this comments section or watching this video right now that does not understand what they just saw. This has been going on for a long, long time, and it's only of late, the last 10, 15 years perhaps, that men have started to say, no, we're done. We're done. That's it. You know how strong a motherfucker has to be to deny his biological imperative because he sees the traps, the snares. He understands that he's being marched into a minefield. He gets it. This is a strong motherfucker. That is a strong man. And I don't necessarily mean physically strong. I mean, you have a constitution, sir. You have done the job. You've done everything in life that you need to do to advance yourself to be good to you, because no goddamn body else is going to be, forgive my bad language there, nobody else is going to be. No one else is going to do it for you. No one. No one. Now, somebody of a like mind, myself, line of MGTOW, JD Miles, the master wrenches that are in this box right now, kicking ass with over 600 sets of eyeballs. Excuse me? Squeeze me. What am I looking at? 600 of y'all just tuned in to watch some crazy old motherfucker spurg. That's all right. I hope I didn't disappoint you. We're going to get to the end of this real quick, and then we're going to talk about it.
Violence against women starts with disrespect. The excuses we make allow it to grow. Violence against women, let's stop it at the start.
You know that your goddamn country is cucked. Cuccus Maximus, the Tsar Bomba of cuccus. When you are producing content like that for the masses to digest, you come right out and you demonize boys, little boys, little boys. Little boys are being murdered at a clip that is historically unprecedented. Little boys are being turned into little girls through chemical castration, through school interference and drugging at an unprecedented level. Testosterone has fallen off of a fucking cliff. Masculinity itself has been pathologized by your institutions. I say your because they're not mine. And you feel free to disavow them if you wish. Whoever put that together, I don't know who it was. If anybody does know who it was, shout them out. They deserve a pat on the back, a couple of PayPal donations. It's a hell of a good job, and it's as accurate and representative of the times as anything that I've seen. That is what it is. Australia is a feminist fucking shithole. Right there next to Canada. Right there next to Britain and Ireland. Ireland and Scotland in particular are awful. Just awful. The United States, the fellas here, thank God for all of us, are fighting the fucking fight, taking it to them. Your propaganda doesn't work, bitches. It does not work. Now we're going to listen to their comments, and I'm going to break in as I see fit. So try not to get agitated at the old man if every other word needs some kind of an input.
That was disturbing, especially how they use the image of little boys.
Right? You have to stop it at the beginning through little boys. You have to re-indoctrinate boys.
Meaning you have to re-engineer the way that men are seen by women. That's what that means. So that women can feel safe and protected. They don't want to feel equal because equal is uncomfortable. Equal is not friendly. Now, it doesn't mean run up on a bitch and bash her in the fucking face because you don't like the color shirt that she's wearing. That's not what it means. That's a violent motherfucker, and they need to be dealt with. And I don't necessarily mean put 6 feet in the ground. I mean, you need to figure out why they're violent. Figure out what made them that way. Some people are just genuinely fucking evil. And you can pick them out. And then they get dealt with in a particular manner. Some people were pathologized from the time that they were an infant, and you have to unwind them.
This whole notion that men are sick, men are twisted, men are disgusting.
Right, inherently so.
Men are predators.
All of them.
Right, and you have to start when they're little boys to teach them there's something wrong with them, and here's how we're going to fix you.
He's not wrong, because that's exactly the way that they frame it. Can you imagine the reverse of this? From the beginning of this, if it were reversed, if you reversed the roles of men and women, can you imagine how that would go down in this society today? If it ever did get out to the mainstream, it would be vilified. Every person that had anything to do with it would be doxxed. Your jobs would be taken. Your bank accounts would be frozen. Your cuck premiers would declare the army a natural resource and go stick it right up your ass.
Wow. This is feminism winning the PR battle, like the title was saying. And it's having such disgusting repercussions on society. The fact that if you're a grandfather, that you're looked at as a dirty old man if you try to take your kids out for a walk or take them to the playground to play, push them on the swing. Immediately, other mothers, other people will look at you like, why is he with a child? Sick pedo perv.
And where does that come from? Where does that start? It starts all the way in pre-K now. First grade, second grade, and all the way through 12th. And if you're going to college, it's intensified tenfold in college. It's not a wonder that these people are coming out to the world with a particular worldview, and they're completely devastated when they get out here. They've been raised on a certain set of circumstances, ideals, and then when none of it is true, who do you think looks like the demon to them? Who looks like the devil to them? It was you, Mr. White Man. And if any of you POC brothers out there happen to agree, well, all of a sudden your skin don't matter. You're a white devil too.
How sick is that? And this is exactly what's weakening men, because having a mentor that's always a man, much older than you, who's experienced life, is now disintegrated in society. It's not even a thing anymore. I don't hear anything about mentors or men getting help from older men who've been through it all.
Now, I left a comment at the top of this video, and it had several. Like 1,500, somewhere around there. I said, we are here. We haven't gone anywhere. There are tons of older men out here now that have done it, that have been there, that have been taken to the fucking cleaners, that have had their necks wrung, had to rebuild their life 2 and 3 times. And they have intercepted the younger generation. And now they're telling them, this is what you can look forward to if you go down this path. Don't take my word for it, young man. Here's the evidence. I have a box of receipts. Feel free to look through them. I'm not the only one that's doing this. There's thousands of men out here online everywhere that are doing this now, that are trying to head this off at the pass. I see at least 100 of them in the chat right now. And I want to give big thanks to every single one of you, especially if you're a content producer. If you have 10 fucking views on a video, that's 10 people that have an alternative point of view now because of you. When I first started and I was getting 10 views, I was like, wow, 10 views. I'm not kidding with you. That's exactly what it started out as, was 10 views. The first video that broke 100 views, I was like, I can't believe that this got 100 fucking set of eyeballs on it. The first video that broke 100,000 views, I was like, yeah, man, this is going somewhere. The first video that broke 1 million views, I knew then we were in trouble. It wasn't just people listening. It was an entire society of broken and fractured people trying to figure out their place.
And impart wisdom, guidance, aside from your father, if you even had one in the household now with all the dysfunction in the nuclear family.
Right. That's another thing. We know how important it is to have a strong male figure in your life, both as a male or a female.
Bam. Oh, shit. Hold on.
On society, the fact that if you're a why is he man? Much.
That's another thing. We know how important it is to have a strong male figure in your life, both as a male or a female.
Well, you heard her say it, didn't you? Look, I don't like to lessen the impact of a man or a woman on children. But objectively speaking, if you had to do away with one, you can't do without a father. You can do without a mother. Will there be problems? Yes, there will be problems. But if you have a strong, grounded, centered man running a family, it is not going to look anything like a strong, grounded, centered woman running a family. All things being equal, you tip it to the man. That's just the way it is. That's the way it will always be. I know that there will be a lot of people out there that are going to disagree with it. And by God, the evidence is starting to mount up that you just might be right. With 3 generations of men now under the thumb, destroyed, crushed, disheveled, all your shit's taken, your spirit's broken. It's not easy to rebuild from nothing. Holla at your boy. I know what it's like to rebuild from nothing. You tell me, shout yourselves out. How many times have you rebuilt from nothing? F in the chat if you've rebuilt from nothing.
Especially as a woman, I'd say.
Right, yeah.
And yet we continue to see this push to isolate men from everyone else.
Yeah, fatherhood is not being... They're taking away the sanctity of fatherhood altogether.
Special Persons Day, you mean?
Special Persons Day.
Special Persons Day, man. You can't be a father no more. You might make all these other motherfuckers out here feel bad. You know what I felt when I saw other kids with fathers in school with their dads? I felt happy for them that they had fathers, that they had someone there to love them and play ball with them, take them to a movie. I didn't look at them and feel jealousy or envy or hate. I was glad for them, even as a kid, an 8-year-old.
Being a father is being taken lightly now. Like, it's not that important. We don't need men. I don't need a man. He doesn't need a father. Daddy government suck on the teat of getting support, you know.
Disenfranchised Veritech. Happy Father's Day, Mom. Yeah, I remember that fucking crap. Happy fucking Father's Day, Mom. My mama was my daddy. No, your mama was your enabler. Your mama was your torturer. That's what your mama was, and you just don't know the difference. My mama was strong and independent. No, she wasn't. She was arrogant and combative and entitled. And if she didn't have the gun of the state and the money of men that the state took it from, she wouldn't have shit. It's a very rare woman that can go out there and build anything. Anything. 728 of y'all in the house. Welcome. Glad to see you.
Child support payments, the government, tax deductions, all that stuff. We've replaced the father with just simply money and a revolving door of men in their lives from their single mothers that are going on dating sprees. And then you've birthed an entire generation of dysfunctional adults.
Right, and it's only getting worse because men are catching on to this, and now you see men being really resentful and bitter, and they think that their solution is going their own way. And
she's not wrong entirely, but you can see the perspective that the man here brings and the perspective that the woman brings, even when supposedly they are on the same page, because they're bitter and they're resentful. And no, they're just exactly like any other human being would be. Anybody else in that position would feel the same way. If a woman dedicated her life, her existence to the man, and they had kids, those kids come through her body. So there's going to be a price to pay. There's a toll to pay. And then he fucking jets, he leaves. It's not because he didn't love her. It's just because he was a fucking narcissist. Are you going to tell me that she's going to be happy-go-lucky, that she's not going to be bitter, she's not going to be resentful? She's not going to say, well, I gave up the best 25 years of my fucking life to somebody so that they could just kick me in the pussy? No, it's the same thing that everybody would do initially. That's the big difference between MGTOW and monk. People that observe the philosophy and people that want to conflate not very good examples of the red pill with us. I said about a year ago that I felt that MGTOW and the red pill, monks in MGTOW, were separating from red pill. And I see no evidence to say that that's not true. Red pill is becoming Normieville. People are terrified of the acronym because they know what it means. It means that they got to stand on their own 2 feet. They don't have a choice. They have to stand on their own 2 feet. You go MGTOW, you go monk, you're standing on your own 2 feet. You're doing your own thing. You're thinking. You're acting autonomously. You're not a robot, a fucking worker bee, a drone.
Completely opting out, when in reality, I mean, that's not really solving the problem, and you're also, I'd say, diminishing your experience of life.
So what experience, ma'am? What experience are they diminishing? Is it the child court extortion procedure that they're diminishing? Is it the days, weeks, and months of heartbreak and self-doubt that they're diminishing? Is it that first tender, amazing kiss? Is it that first, oh? Is it that? I'd cash all of that shit in for a Hershey bar. It's nothing compared to having your kids taken from you, having your resources strip mined. It's nothing compared to being dependent on somebody, which men shouldn't be, but we're raised to be that way. And then having that motherfucker walk out the door. They don't even give you a reason. No, I just wasn't feeling it. Gentlemen, you ain't missing out on anything. There's a lot of experiences that we don't get to experience before we die, before we check out. I promise you, if you focus on yourself, if you concentrate on you, those people that you bring into your life will benefit because of your focus on you. Don't fall for this soft bullshit.
You know, you don't get to experience being a father or being a part of a family or having a good partner if you just check out.
I understand it though. When you see stuff like this, I understand why you would rather detach yourself from the system entirely.
I understand why they're choosing to do that, but I'm saying
I get
it. It's
for
not
some
a
of
solution.
them, right? For some of them, though, they would.
It's not a solution, she says. So what, pray tell, is the solution? What's the solution? To keep chasing your ass? To weed through fucking women like a weed whacker on a fucking hedge? Huh? No, that's not a solution. The solution is to strip the laws that cripple men. When everybody gets up in my face with this pie in the sky bullshit and they say, yo, man, you're going to miss out on X, Y, and Z, I'm going to say, hey, man, have the laws changed? Have the laws been amended? No, you say? How about women? Have they changed? No, they've gotten worse. They are narcissistic vessels that just happen to look like human beings. TikTok will show you that. Instagram will show you that. Facebook will show you that. YouTube will show you that. I just read a study. Interesting study. It was posted somewhere, and forgive me, I can't remember who posted it. If it's you, shout yourself out. When a woman applies makeup to her face, she's applying 515 approximately different chemicals every time. Over her lifetime, she absorbs 63% of it into her skin, meaning that she transforms her body and her skin and what she is as a human being with those chemical compounds. They absorb pounds and pounds and pounds of that shit. It's not a wonder that they're whack, that they're insane. It's not a wonder that they view life as disposable, as a convenience. I just wasn't ready for a baby. It wasn't a baby. It was just a couple little cells.
Rather not play the game at all, and their response to it is to just
Their
exit.
response is exiting themselves from the gene pool.
Right.
And that's what every fucking bitch out there says. Well, you're just deleting yourself from the gene pool. Congratulations. Thanks for saving us the trouble. That is a deflection. That is not addressing the problem. That's sidestepping the problem. And no matter how much these two might try to play themselves off as friend to man, that is not a fucking friend to man.
Well, that's the decision they've made.
Yeah.
And the headaches of getting married, getting wrecked in court, the government protecting women so much, all the above that we've seen in the videos. I understand. I read it in the comments. They go like, hey, I've had such bad experiences that I got burned 2, 3, 4 times. I'm done. I've tried enough, and then that's it. And that's, you're a grown man. If you choose solitude like that, going your own way, or just having fun in the dating game casually instead of searching for a family and all that, more power to you. Not playing is a response. And a lot of men are going that way, and it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
He's not wrong, but you can tell he wants to say something else. He's holding back. He's holding back. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to blast her, but I'm not saying that he's not going to be a little more gynocentric about it too. I really can't tell. But he's holding back. He's not saying everything that he wants to say right here. But you can see the juxtaposition between the 2 points of view. It's kind of startling.
Because again, the fullness of life will be missing, but also I understand their choices.
The fullness of life, my friends, is what you make it. It's not what somebody tells you it is. If you don't have an option with a female, then you have an entire planet out here that is filled with options on every corner. And you're going to tell me that the only one that matters to you is an option with a female? I'm going to tell you that you've got problems that need to be solved. Yes, it sucks. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. But when you come to the realization that that may just be your lot in life, you have to work through it. You don't have a choice. You can't lay down and die. You can't sit around and moan and piss and groan about it for 15 or 20 fucking years. You have a life to live. And I promise you that the more you live that life, the more you do life on your terms, the less important being accepted by other people becomes.
It's just sad to see that how far and twisted feminism has come, that it's come to men completely checking out of the game altogether, which that should be a major symptom to society that something's wrong. And if people can't see that, destabilizes everything. Like where this leads down to in 15, 20, 30 years when men start quitting in mass, because this is just barely getting started.
Right.
It's barely catching on. I mean, what is it going to look like?
Now, he's right and he's wrong at the same time. It's not just barely getting started. The groundwork for the philosophy was laid 20 years ago. There have always been confirmed bachelors. There have always been confirmed bachelors. That aspect of not dealing with females is not female hate. It's accepting what's out there. And if there's nothing out there for you, it's time to concentrate on something else. But those bitches will turn around and have you believe that you have to stay in it. There's always hope. There's always a soulmate. Oh, she's out there, man. Just give it the old college try. Fuck that shit. Not interested. I give you gentlemen glimpses of the things that I have been able to accumulate. Now, accumulating shit is not the end-all be-all. It's not. But I've surrounded myself with my life. And I love my life. I like my life a lot. Love. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. If the Lord Jesus came down, forgive me for taking the name in vain, and says, "Hammer handeth, I offer you a chance to build your very own biatch," I would decline and say, "We tried this once, and she betrayed us all. Fuck that bitch, sir. Respectfully."
The stats are already bad for men. Something, I don't know what I was reading. A high percentage of men at 21 years old in Gen Z, I believe, are virgins. Whether that's through like how skewed the dating game is, or how just awkward they are from not having the traditional masculine upbringing, and they're just not knowing how to find their own identity in themselves as men. They may be in a feminist household just like this that pushes the idea on them that they're predators, that they're evil, that they should behave a certain way. And when you condition someone like that, they don't have the proper tools to even go out into the world.
I'm going to stop there for a minute. I just saw somebody in my chat, and I wanted to holler. Peter Andrew Nolan. Hey, at MGTOW. Maddie, how are you doing? Sooner or later, some good men are going to take out the trash in Australia. Peter, I know that you're frustrated with life, and you have every right to be. And I know that the things that you wanted to build and put together to advance the cause of men didn't exactly happen the way that you wanted it to. But if you look around you and you see microphones like mine, like yours, like Lion, like Chronic, we may not have a hell of a lot in common, but we're all headed in the same direction. That empire and that network is there. It wasn't going to generate $1 billion, man. It's going to generate freedom. Thanks for being here, brother. I appreciate it.
And we're seeing that right now with, there's so many more men that are virgins than there used to be. You know, there's so many more men failing behind in school. So many more men committing suicide. So many more men, everything, X, Y, and Z, all the negatives, mental health, all this is very prevalent in men today, unlike in any other time. And their only way to explain it is by society deconstructing the identity of a man. I mean,
No, that's part of it. That's not the only explanation. The truest explanation is enabling females to kick you out of the house, to grant them autonomy, the same type of autonomy that a man had, that he had to shed blood for on command. Except they don't have to do that. It's voluntary. And most of them, the vast majority, 99.999% of them, don't die or get injured in combat. It's probably something like 98%. If I'm being truthful, probably like 98% of them. And then they get out and they've got a fat fucking GI Bill that I get to pay for. Thanks for your service. It's empowering people to harm other people with the aid and help of the government. If you haven't figured out that your government is not a fucking government by now, there's no hope for you. They are users. They are abusers. That's what they do. It's all they do. They suck up valuable air and take up space.
How else could you destroy a person, a male, essentially, and for them to have all these negative outcomes, then to deconstruct their very identity?
Mhm.
You're born evil. Like, what more?
Right, and
how more disgusting?
if you
can that
do
be?
try to push back, then that's you exhibiting those toxic traits.
Exactly.
So it's really up to women, right? Especially women who do want to have a family and want to have a man in their life to stand up for these men's rights, because it's
Fuck that. Fuck that. Let me tell you something right now. The day that men have to rely on women to stand up for them, men are finished. It's fucking over. Bitches might as well just go buy a bag of dildos and have their kids in a fucking sperm tank somewhere. Test tube babies. The day that men have to stand up and say, we want you women to defend us, I want all of you motherfuckers dead. Because you don't deserve to be alive if you can't fucking stand up for yourself and take control of your destiny. Now, I don't want you to read anything into that. Don't go sitting there. That's code, man. He told me to go murder them motherfuckers. No, I didn't. Taking control of your destiny doesn't mean killing people. I just got to put that out there. Disclaimer.
it's not attractive for a man at the moment.
Yes. If more women stood up against their, nut job sisters that are doing this, the side effect to this is women will be in danger, because a weak man is extremely dangerous to women. When you build up men and you make them strong and virtuous with character, all the above, you will get a society that is very safe for women, as safe as it could possibly be.
How about a society that's safe for everyone? Why the fuck do we keep coming back to this tired ass old shit about safe for women? They're not even talking about safe for kids, man. It's safe for women. How about a society that is safe for men, for women, for kids, so that we can just live? How about that? Oh, I forgot. That doesn't make other people lots of money. Hatred, division, war. That makes lots of people money. Oh, and phony fucking diseases that drug companies patent chemical DNA chains to 3 fucking years before it shows up. Fuck you very much, Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson. Should hang every one of them.
When you don't and you destroy the male identity and you feminize men, they'll start lashing out. They're emotional. They will get abusive. Anger and whatnot, resentment will spill over into society, whether it's killings, shootings, whatever, name it, rapes. That's what happens when you have a weak man. Weak men do such things.
What about all the women that rape students in schools? It's not 1 or 2. It's thousands. What about all the women, the 72% that kill their kids? What about them? All murdered children, 72% of those murdered kids were killed by their mother. 100% of murdered kids inside the womb were killed by their mother. I know where this guy's going. I know what he's trying to say, but he is a little feminized. He's gynocentric.
This cannot course correct without women also stepping in, because the narrative is fully men are toxic. Any opinion a man gives is immediately discounted. How would you know you're an oppressor? The patriarchy, you're privileged, you know? And until women step in and start calling them out, more women leading the fight against the craziness that is feminism today, I don't think this will change. This will spiral down until the point that men become such a echo of their own past that you can't even recognize what a man is anymore. You just...
Well, he's not wrong about that. If you look at all the broads on social media that swoon over that fella in that 20s show, I can't remember what it is. Tom Hardy's in it, and there's another cat that's in it, and you know they've got the nice 1920s zoot suits, and they're smoking the cigars that are the size of a fucking a fat middle finger. You know, why can't men dress like this anymore? Why can't men act like this anymore? You know, while she's eating her 12th box of fucking Twinkies this weekend.
Look down the street and it's almost like another woman, how feminized they get, you know, how meek, how agreeable.
Now.
Right. It's happening now. They're smaller. They're wearing tight clothes. Doughy.
Skinny.
Yeah. Putting on makeup.
Don't blame them. Don't blame them. They're only doing what they were taught to do. There is a natural conflict that occurs in every one of these boys that become young men, that become men. They will see it and they will react only in a couple of ways. It intensifies and they become SJWs, or they become serial killers, rapists, child killers, or they try to find an answer. They start looking inside internally. They start looking for other men that are sharing that same struggle. The season of the chameleon, gentlemen, is on you, like stink on shit, like white on rice. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Like both of them right there are saying, look at that look on her fucking face. Like both of them are sitting there saying, women are going to have to stand up and be accepted. And then what? Push their way into every fucking sphere that we have again. That's why football sucks. That's why racing sucks. That's why hockey sucks. That's why everything that has nothing to do with bitches sucks, because their influence is in it. And I don't want their goddamn influence in it. If I want my nuts swinging in the toilet bowl, that's what I'm going to do. Shut up.
Being feminine, having emotional breakdowns.
Painting their nails.
Right. It's like there's almost no masculinity left in the upbringing of a boy. And
there
God
really
forbid.
Isn't. It's very rare to see a man that is
man.
stoic and centered and manly. And
rare? It's not rare. All you got to do is punch in MGTOW, and you're going to see stoic and centered. You're going to see men that are men. You're going to see men that preach to other men. The Sunday sermon is on every day of the week. I got your back, homies, and you got mine. And I know for the 1,000 other content creators that you listen to, you got theirs. Everybody that I'm looking at in this chat, pretty much, I can see you in other people's comments and other people's chats. Hundreds and hundreds of them. This shit's not going away. It's not going away. There are stoic men out here. There are men out here. I don't make I don't sit there and tell you, well, you're a real man if you're doing X, Y, and Z. We're all real men. We're also all socialized in different ways. You take some of that shit out, what a man is starts to show up. That man is industrious. He's creative. He's artistic. He's a lover and he's a fighter. He's all of that fucking shit in a bag of chips. My eyes deceive me. Is there 831 of y'all in here watching this crazy motherfucking Asperger's syndrome go off? Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. As always, every single time.
Can do things with his hands. It's very rare.
Right. It's
well, it's not that rare. I can do things with my hands.
Completely twisted what the male identity has become. And if you ever think this way, obviously I'm benefiting for the patriarchy. Who am I to talk? I have toxic masculinity oozing out of me. You are white adjacent and benefiting from the patriarchy. And also, cis, you've internalized misogyny, so they'll discount you too, even though you're a woman. It's going to take a ton of people from both genders to stop this madness. It went from women wanting equality and just to have the same responsibilities as men and dealing with the same consequences to we've absolved ourselves of all responsibility, and the consequences are now on men only. It's quite twisted.
I empathize with your concerns, right, being a man, but I also think there's a bit of confusion because I don't agree that most...
Uh-oh. When you start getting into the buts, the ifs and the ands, let's see what she's got to say.
Women wanted this, or that women in...
She said most women didn't want this, or that women in general didn't want this. Where the fuck were they when it was happening? Where were you, bitches? All of you have a father, a brother, a cousin, a son, some member, an uncle, some member of your family you know has been run through the fucking coals, raked over the coals. And you knew it was unjust. And all of you sat around, you know, that bitch, blah, blah, blah. And you did nothing. And you're not the only ones. Every fucking man out there has it on his shoulders too. Generations of men failed up.
General wanted this. I think this idea, especially feminism itself, started in higher academia with a certain kind and a certain class of...
That was a little based. What do you think she means, a certain kind? Ooh.
Woman. I don't think normal women or like everyday women, working class women, feed into these feminist ideals because they like the idea of being a traditional woman and to have a traditional man.
I want a traditional set of governance where the man leads. You see? That doesn't mean that the man is the leader. Okay, if you follow the good word, she is responsible to him, he is responsible to God. There is no way to fail safely when you obey that. If you try and try and try and you fail, you have not failed. Do you understand? She is responsible to him. He is responsible to God. That's the way it goes. You killed God. You removed man. You hold a grudge against your creator. You murder the creation in your womb. I don't believe you.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of the women I've met and spoken to just kind of turn their heads and go, "Ugh, feminism." It's always these women that are going to the liberal colleges, and unfortunately, power structure inside the colleges themselves that propagate this. And these women do hold some kind of high positions in society, or know men in high positions that can kind of move the needle in the direction that they want it to at the expense of the rest of society, but it benefits them. You know, that's the tragedy in all this, that feminism is supposed to be this movement for all women, but it's really only benefiting a select few, and the rest.
He's not wrong. It's not a movement for all women. It empowers all women to hurt every man. But only a certain few women and men benefit from the tyranny of feminism. It's tyranny. It's tyranny. Who doesn't know that?
Rest of the women, especially the lower end of society, is struggling because those women can't have the same say independence that these higher end women are talking about. Like, oh my God, you don't need a man. It's like, well, that's not true. My income is $15,000 a year, and I also have a kid. It's like, I really do need a second income. I do need the man's help to support me. I would like,
or I want a man.
I want a man to start a family with, and both of us have to work to have even a semblance of a normal life. You know, because doing it on your own, on one income, you have to be a very privileged person in a very well-off position.
Bullshit. I do it on my own. I worked my fucking balls off to get into that position to be able to do it on my own. I didn't fall for the okey doke again and again and again. Oh man, you're kind of cute, homie. You want to come over tonight? Hey man, my car needs brakes. Fuck you.
Society, especially these sorts of women that are talking this crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
To say like, you need no man, you don't need to do this. It's like, yeah, well, you're probably making $250,000 a year or more. You're highly educated. Your pool for men is already dried and dwindled up because women don't date down. So of course these women are like, well, I don't need men. They've themselves checked out. Feminism is basically women who've checked out of traditional dating. It's women going their own way. It's that perverse, twisted version. That's what it is. And now men are the pendulum has swung back. Right, version. The pendulum has swung back in the other perverse way where men now are just checking out.
What's so fucking perverse, homeboy? I'm talking to you, motherfucker. What is so perverse about protecting yourself? Huh? What's so perverse about protecting yourself? What's so perverse about not wanting to go through the agony of losing a kid or kids? What's so perverse about not wanting to go through a divorce? Not wanting to have some fuckwad drag you into a child court and tell you that you got to pay for their life and the kids. You do know that that's illegal, don't you? Of course you don't. What's perverse about wanting to avoid all of that and just say, you know, I've learned my lesson? You know, in life, Hammerhand has never done a line of coke, but I see what coke does when people snort it. I don't want to do that. I see what 35 beers do when people drink 35 beers. I don't want to do that. I see what lung cancer looks like, and I don't want to do that. There's nothing perverse about it. It's a natural reaction to protecting yourself.
Completely out of society. And then you get stuff like this, women getting raped on trains, men no longer getting married, men not going to school, men just saying, whatever, then you guys deal with it.
You remember that test that you took in school that had like 4 choices and it said which one does not fit? Of the shit that he just said, which one does not fit? If you said bitches getting raped on trains, you would be right. That didn't fit with what he just said. In other words, men have made themselves less accommodating, less disposable. Men aren't responding to your crocodile tears and your wolf cries. And that pisses them off.
You know, which is also not the right answer. But here we are.
And that's the end of that most pleasant video. And it was my pleasure to bring it to you. Now, I will post the link to that when this video closes out. I'm absolutely floored. 841 of y'all sitting in this box right now. And you have my appreciation, as always. I'm glad that you're here. If you hate the fucking message and you can't stand it, I'm still glad that you're here. Because you're going to walk away with this resonating. Something is going to stick out. You say, that motherfucker's a fucking psycho. Fuck him. Okay. Then that's what you'll be thinking about. But I doubt that. I doubt that. I'm going to jump up in this chat a little bit and try to read a few of your comments. Please forgive me if I don't get to all of them because there's a fucking ton of them. Lolo Costianity. Put a train on that bitch. Steve Evans. The Lord helps those that help themselves. That's why MGTOW succeed. Any man that decides to help himself away from usury, away from these complications, these intentional complications, is a man that is going to be helped. Taking care of yourself, man. The Lord just has to sit back and be like, hey, attaboy. Lord doesn't have to raise a finger because you did it yourself. Jared T. I like to think she wouldn't have divorce raped me, but all signs point to that being the likely eventuality. It sucks. Been there. It sucks. 35 beers and a line of Coke is cheaper than that woman. Yes. Moisture Patrol. Yes, that's true. Jack Severus. Yeah, the train grape has nothing to do with my indifference to society. No, it doesn't. I can't speak for you, but as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't. You think I'm going to jump in there and risk my ass over somebody that in different circumstances, maybe not sitting on the train, is going to be double talking shit, making fun of a guy like me? Hell fucking no. Burn, bitch. You made your fucking bed, lie in it. Mr. Pliskin, call me Snake. Focus on building your self-worth. Zarbon, hey, Elder Hammerhand. Well, hey back, Zarbon, how you doing? Intellectual Quasar, Feminist cried wolf, too long, and we went monk. My ears just kind of closed off to their cries. You know? I don't hear them anymore. I don't hear them. I don't hear them because they made sure that I couldn't hear them. Because to hear them is to be a sexist. To react is to assume that they can't do it for themselves. So I err on the side of caution. I defer to you, my bitch. Do it yourself. I will not assume on your behalf anymore, ever. Ryan McKenzie, women have checked out because they can't put chads anymore. Can't pull chads anymore. Yeah, well, they can't. They can't. Oh, my man. Look at him throwing up the PayPal. Thank you. Merciless shilling, but not nearly as merciless as my boy Chronic. Not nearly. And I'm not as good as this at the segues either. I'm just not. Timothy Sokol, lockout game. Do it yourself, bitch. Shout out line of MGTOW. MGTOW Live, bunch of wankers. Yeah, they are, man. Reprobus. Oh, man, I can't even get that one. Reprobus, that's what we're going to call you. It's Friday, but Sunday is coming. Brizzy boy, women are invisible to me now. Yeah. Have you seen the deal? I'm not going to spend too long on this, but have you seen the deal where Paulina Poroskova has come up in the news over the last, 6 or 8 months, talking about how she just feels invisible now. She's 56 and she wants to date again. And oh, you've got to be shitting me, man. Paulina Poroskova had been married to Rick Ocasek of the Cars, the lead singer, the front man for the Cars, for 20 fucking years. And she's never lived a life that any one of us will ever see. Does that make sense? You and Paulina Poroskova will never cross paths. I'll put it to you that way. Unless you happen to bump into her at Hollywood and Vine. And now this bitch, because she's getting old, because her old man croaked, and she had to go to court, I guess, to fight for his money because he didn't leave her anything. Right? There had to be a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but there had to be a reason. And now she's crying and pissing and moaning. She wants to get back out there, man. I got so much life to live. You've already lived so much life, madam. You've already lived 100 lifetimes. Been all over the fucking world, done everything, and probably everyone, and still want more. Goddamn bottomless pit. A Manly Reloaded, just to let everyone know, this is now my main channel as YouTube yeeted my old one for repeated medical misinformation claims, which have been proven true. So I wonder how that works. Son of a bitches. David Smith, Kirstie Alley is also coming out saying she's going to expose Hollywood. Dumb post-wall broad. Yeah. Crazy fucking shit, man. Crazy shit. Jacob Mann, poor rich bitch. Crypto Werewolf, 56 and wants to date again. She better push the cobwebs off that trashed box. Oh. Life is fucked up, gentlemen. And When you get the opportunity to make your life incredible, take it. When you get the opportunity to have a good moment or two, take it. When you get the opportunity to listen to somebody try to get into your ear and swindle you, don't take it. Listen to your better judgment. Don't listen to your biology, because all it wants to do is fuck and fuck and fuck and breed some more and fuck a little bit and then breed some more. It's all your biology wants to do. It's hardwired. You can't help it, but you can control it. Morals, ethics, values, and principles, in conjunction with controlling your biology, make you indestructible, immovable. And all they'll do is tire out and move on to the next sucker. And it won't be you. Trendy MGTOW, trust your instincts. Absolutely. Moises Ledsma, hey, Hammerhand, save this live stream. It'll be up for a while, brother. Be up for a while. Zool, don't succumb to desire. Don't. I want to thank everybody that showed up tonight. I want to thank you guys for hanging in there and listening to the message and being awesome, because it's just what you are. I appreciate you every time that you show up. Still almost 800 of you in the house. And for those almost 800, I would like to say, I hope you're looking forward to this weekend, because I think Friday, the War Band, Undead Chronic, and myself might be doing something. I think it might get a little fiery. I think Susan might actually call in. She might grape one of us. I'm not sure. It's just a feeling I got. Until the next time, take care of yourselves. Be good to one another. And don't get married.